Okay, so I've got two pictures saved on my desktop. Picture that I'm going to use for my project and a picture that I've cropped. So let me show you that you also have this feature on your computer, and it's called a snipping tool, and it's right down here at the bottom. If you go to search for programs, we're going to search snipping, you will see this snipping tool will come up, and you want to drag that into your toolbar. Now I'm going to ask you to wait till I get finished with the instructions, and then I'll walk you through it just so you can see how we'll do it together. But for right now, let's just do the instructions. So here's my photograph I've opened on my document. I need to make sure I don't have this word box over here because I will snip that in. So I'm going to go down here and click on my snipping tool, and I'm going to snip out part of my picture to create my smaller picture or my close-up. And you can choose with the snipping tool whatever you want to snip out. Okay? So it works really slick. It's a tool you definitely want to have on your computer because you might decide that you want to snip something off of a screen. Okay? You can snip off of a web page, off of a Word document, off of a photo. You can use that snipping tool for anything. I use it all the time when I'm putting pictures of screenshots up on Blackboard for you guys. So you're going to use your snipping tool to create your close-up of your picture. I'm going to open up my Open Office Word document. And the first thing I want to do is I want to shrink my document so that I can see the entire page. I'm going to go to Format, and I'm going to go to Page, and then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make sure it says Page on the tab, and I'm going to change it from Portrait, which is vertical, to Landscape, which is horizontal, and I'm going to click OK. Now I've flipped my page sideways. Then I want to go to File, and I want to create a save file on my desktop of my work, and I'm just going to label it Hero FC for Final Copy. And I'm going to save it. That's important to remember because every single time you do something, you should go up and hit that icon and save it, that little floppy disk. That way you know that you aren't going to lose your work. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my picture. So I'm going to go to Insert, scroll down to Picture from File. I'm going to go to my desktop and find the picture that I'm going to use for the big one. So that's this picture right here. And I'm going to click Open. Now the picture clearly has taken up the entire space, so I'm going to drag it to the size by grabbing the corner. The reason I use the corner is because then it will make the picture a little more in proportion, but I do have to adjust this one a little bit. I'm going to double click on the picture, and now I need to wrap the picture. This is a step that students often forget, and it's very important because you won't be able to put other things in your document or move your picture where you want to put it. So I want to go to Through and click OK. Now I can put this picture where I want it. Okay? This picture, because it's horizontal and not vertical, will not necessarily go in where I want it in the picture, won't fill up all the space, but that's okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to go grab my close-up picture. So I'm going to insert picture again from File, and I'm going to go out and grab that snipped picture that I took, and I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to double click it, wrap the picture, and I'm going to shrink it. Okay? Whoops, I did wrap it. So I'm going to put this over here. So we have the large picture and we have the small one. And I can size them and make them how I want them. Now this is going to sit right next to and up above the large picture. Underneath that, I'm going to put in a text box. In OpenOffice, that text box is called a frame. So I'm going to click on the word frame, and I'm going to click OK. It's going to pop up here, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to double click, and then I have to wrap it. I have to wrap anything I insert into my document. I have to tell the computer I want to place it where I want it. underneath the picture goes a box, and I'm going to type in that box my little biography information about the person that I'm honoring today. So Alex is a staff sergeant in the Air Force. Okay? Stationed at Minot, North Dakota. Okay? So I'm going to give a little bit of background underneath this picture. Who is this story about? I'm also going to double click this picture because I don't want box lines around my text. I don't want boxes. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to borders, and right over here where it says default, it says use no borders. I'm going to click on that and click OK, and my lines show up in a gray, but when we print them, there won't be any lines there. Follow me? Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert text boxes for my article information, for my story. So I'm going to go to Insert, Frame. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to double click, wrap, through, OK, and then I'm going to make my boxes to write in. And I'm going to slide that over here. Now, a quick little tip, I need another column exactly the same size as this one. So instead of having to play with it and get it all measured out exactly the same, I can then go to Edit, Copy. I can move my cursor off of the text box and go to File, Edit, Paste, and I should get a second text box side by side. And they're exactly the same width and exactly the same height, because I copied them. I didn't have to try and manipulate it. I'm also going to double check and just make sure that it is wrapped through, because I need that to be able to function that way. Now all I have to do is type in my story about Alex. Okay? You do need to make sure that you are not centered. That's really important. You also need to make sure that you are typing single, spaced, because articles are written single spaced, and you also need to make sure that you're using paragraphs by indenting. Okay? Okay, and you just start writing your article. Now your article is going to fill up this column, then this column, just like we see in a magazine. If your story goes beyond the 2 columns, then you're going to add a second page and go to 3 columns. So no pictures there, just 3 columns. If it only needs 2 columns, put 3 columns in your page so they're all the same width. Everybody following what I'm saying? You don't want 2 skinny columns and then 2 fat columns on the second page. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to put in our title. You'll see that the cursor is flashing up here on the left-hand side. I'm going to tab over until I get to the right side of my small close-up picture. I'm going to go to my font, and I'm going to pick something out that I like. I'm going to increase the size. Okay? And notice that my title was longer than my space, so I'm just going to tab it over. A long way from home. Tab over underneath it. And I'm going to put my byline. And my byline will be down at a size 12. It won't be, and it'll be back in the regular font size or regular font style. Okay. Apparently I didn't spell my name correctly. There we go. All right. So there's my title and my byline, and then this is written in the article. Now the one thing I did not do, I need to go back and do, is get rid of these lines. So I'm going to double click on my box, going to go to borders, no set borders, okay. I have to do that for both boxes. Okay. And of course I should have been all along, every time I put something in here, I should have hit the save icon. I should not have waited until I was completely finished. So now I can blow this back up to a normal size, and you can see once you do that, I'm like, okay, that probably needs to come out a little bigger, and you can tweak it a little bit, play with it a little bit, get things where they need to be. You can go outside of these borders. Like if for some reason this picture doesn't print this right here, I'm okay with that, that's not there. And I can always view, actually I can go to File, Print, and I should be able to get a preview. Nope, I just sent it to be printed. I thought we could get a preview. I know it looks like OpenOffice print layout. There we go, web layout. Doesn't look like OpenOffice will let me preview what I'm going to print. But does everybody see how to get through all of these steps? Okay.